Dear students, in the last class we have discussed about the development of stiffness matrix by physical approach. That was coming under module 2. In this session we are going to discuss the development of stiffness matrix by element approach. So that is, we are directly jumping into the module 5. We are moving to module 5. In that we are going to discuss direct stiffness matrix. So we are directly entering to the real problem. So the actual, what is the disadvantage of physical approach is that in case of large number of unknown, the matrix will be very big matrix. The matrix is going to be a big stiffness matrix. So there will be having n by n size. So this is the physical approach phase, because it will be very difficult to find out fill the stiffness influence coefficients. In that case, the element approach comes to play. So the element approach is very simple and it is very systematic. So the basic idea is that the structure is considered as, we will consider the structure as a number of elements. We will consider the structure as number of elements, and these elements are joined at nodes. So there will be nodes and there will be elements. So it is actually the concept of finite elements. This is the basic funda of finite elements analysis, finite element analysis. So a rigid structure consists of beam elements, and a truss structure will consist of truss elements. So basically we will be having a rigid structure element, we will be having a truss structure elements. So truss elements, or we will call as bars. And if it is a hybrid structure, it will be having a combination of both beam elements and truss elements. So the advantage of element approach is that whatever be the size of the structure, the element approach can handle it, and it paves the basis of finite element, and it is useful for the development of programming, this analysis, structural analysis. So basically there are two typical methods, that is the analysis of structure using element approach. In the element approach we can develop the stiffness matrix and we can analyze the structure in two methods. One is semi-automatic method. So that is actually, another name is compatibility matrix method. So that is one of the element approach, and which is discussed in module 4. We will start this module 4 after completing module 5. So the module 5 entirely discuss about fully automatic approach, or another name is direct stiffness matrix method. So in brief, you can have an outline. So there is a difficulty in physical approach. So we have element approach. So we have started the use of element approach, and then beam elements are there, truss elements are there, and if you have a hybrid, there will be a combination of both beam elements and truss elements are there. And in the element approach there are two cases, two typical methods. One is semi-automatic method and another one is fully automatic method. So the semi-automatic method is a compatibility matrix method. fully automatic method is actually the direct stiffness matrix method. So this semi-automatic method will be discussed after learning direct stiffness matrix method. So we are directly jumping into the fifth module, so that is direct stiffness matrix method. So before starting the direct stiffness matrix method, you have to understand the element stiffness matrices. So we have to form the typical element stiffness matrix for different types of elements. We will be having beam element and truss element. So let us start with a beam element. And beam element, what is the stiffness matrix? So the first thing is the beam element. So I am going to discuss about the stiffness matrix of a beam element. So in the beam element we can have two cases. So the first case is I am going to discuss case 1, that is considering 1 degrees of freedom per node. At each node there is only 1 degrees of freedom, that is the rotation only, that is the rotation alone. Okay, so there a beam element, we have a beam, the structure is going to be made with these elements, and this beam element is going to have two nodes. So this is the node 1 and this is the node 2, and the span is L, and the modulus of elasticity E and the moment of inertia is I. So for this case you can have 1 degrees of freedom at each node, and the degrees of freedom considered is a rotation. So this is the first degrees of freedom, and say this is the second degrees of freedom 2. So the KE, that is your element stiffness matrix, is going to be a 2 by 2 matrix. So you can say that K11, K21, K12 and K22. Now it is very simple for you to develop this element stiffness matrix, because by physical approach we can develop this stiffness matrix, and you can see that if I apply a unit rotation, in the clockwise direction, the moment generated here will be 4 EI by L, and moment generated here will be 2 EI by L. So I can write my KE, the first column, as 4 EI by L and 2 EI by L, because the moment generated at first ordinate due to unit rotation at first ordinate is 4 EI by L, and the moment generated at the second ordinate is 2 EI by L due to unit rotation at node 1, so 2 EI by L. And similarly, if I apply a unit rotation in the clockwise direction at the second ordinate, that is, this is theta, so the moment generated at the theta location will be 4 EI by L in the clockwise direction, and the moment generated at the other end will be 2 EI by L. So the K12, that is the moment at first ordinate due to a unit rotation at second ordinate is 2 EI by L, and similarly the moment at the second ordinate due to a unit rotation at the second ordinate is 4 EI by L. So the element stiffness matrix of a beam element considering 1 degrees of freedom at each node, you can by heart it as it is a 2 by 2 matrix having 4 elements, and the stiffness influence coefficients are 4 EI by L, 2 EI by L, 2 EI by L and 4 EI by L. So I request all of you to by heart this typical stiffness in element, which will be useful for doing the structural analysis problem. So this is very much required. So these influence coefficients are to be learned, and so this is the beam element with considering 1 degrees of freedom at each node. So the second case is case 2. Case 2 is nothing but considering 2 degrees of freedom at each node, that is, we are going to consider the vertical displacement as well as a rotation. So you can see that, so my element is this one. I am having 2 nodes, and I am going to select my ordinates in this fashion, that is, the displacement is important, upward displacement at left support, first node is taken as my first ordinate, and then I have given my clockwise rotation is my second ordinate, and then similarly the third ordinate is the upward displacement at the second node, and fourth one is the clockwise rotation at the fourth node. So you have to understand that upward direction is positive and clockwise rotation is also positive, and the sequence of selecting the ordinate is vertical displacement first, then rotation, and again vertical displacement and then rotation. So vertical displacement at first node is 1, clockwise rotation at first node is 2, vertical displacement at second node is 3, and clockwise rotation at second node is 4. Now we have to develop the stiffness matrix. You can say that the stiffness matrix is going to be a 4x4 matrix, and you have to apply 1 situation, and you have to fix your stiffness. You have to form your stiffness matrix. So for forming this element stiffness, we are again using your physical approach, and once you use the physical approach, you can find the element stiffness, and you can then use the element stiffness for doing the structural analysis problem. So let me take the first case. So first case is that upward displacement is, let me give a unit displacement in the upward direction. So you know that this is a fixed end. So if I apply unit displacement in the upward direction, you can understand that the force also will be in the same direction of the displacement. So then only your stiffness, it will be a banded. So the magnitude of the force I have already discussed. It is 12 EI by L cube. So the reaction at the right end will be opposite to the reaction at the left support. So it will be downward 12 EI by L cube. So this is going to be make a clockwise moment. So the moment here happening will be in the nature of anti-clockwise. The magnitude will be 6 EI by L square. And here also it will be anti-clockwise 6 EI by L square. So this you should be in a position to write this. So if you have a unit displacement in the upward direction, there will be forces in the same direction at the same location, and the magnitude will be 12 EI by L cube. Other end the force will be in the reverse direction, magnitude will be same, and the moment will be this into L, the net reaction into L. So that will be the moment 6 EI by L square, 6 EI by L square, half of the moment. So now we can write the K matrix. So K matrix, I am going to write the K matrix KEI. The first column you can fix. So what is first column? That is K11. That is the forces in the first ordinate due to a unit displacement, that is upward direction 12 EI by L cube. So I can write it as 12 EI by L cube. What is second thing? Second thing is the rotation happening. So the rotation happening is anti-clockwise, so it will be negative. And the rotation at the second ordinate due to unit displacement at first ordinate, that is 6 EI by L square in the anti-clockwise direction. So it is minus 6 EI by L square. And the next thing is K31. K31 is what is the force induced due to unit translation at 1. The force induced is also in the downward direction. The considered direction is upward. So the reaction force coming is in the reaction coming is in the downward direction. So again it is negative, minus 12 EI by L cube. And finally fourth one is actually K41. That is due to unit displacement at 1. The rotation happening at 4 is again in the anti-clockwise direction. So it is minus 6 EI by L square. So the same process we have to continue, and we have to fix this entire stiffness matrix. So it is going to be a 4x4 matrix. So the second thing is that whatever we are considered, the second is the rotation at the first node. So I am going to make the rotation at the first node. So I am going to make this rotation at the first node. So let me keep in this way. So the rotation at the first node, you are going to have a unit. So this is your beam fixed, and here a clockwise rotation is given. So there is a clockwise rotation. So this is your clockwise rotation. So you know that there will be a moment in the clockwise direction, that is 4ei by L. There will be a clockwise moment at the other end, that is 2ei by L, and the reaction is in the upward direction at the right end, and the downward reaction at the left end, and the magnitude will be 6ei by L square and 6ei by L square. So now we can fix, we can directly write what is K 1 2 K 2 2 K 3 2 K 4 2. So what is K 1 2? K 1 2 is, so you know that this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. So what is K1 2? K1 2 is the force in the direction of 1 due to unit rotation at 2. So the force coming is 6ei by L square, that is having in the downward direction, it is against the direction of 1. So it is downward direction, so it is minus 6ei by L square. Then what is K22? The moment due to unit rotation at 2 itself, that is 4ei by L, that is positive. So it is 4ei by L. What is K32? K32 is upward, the force induced, and 6ei by L square is the force, and it is positive, it is in the same direction, so it is 6ei by L square. And what is K42? What is the moment coming at fourth ordinate, and due to unit rotation at the second ordinate, that is 2ei by L, so this is 2ei by L. Now you can fix the, you can write or fill the second column, so it is minus 6ei by L square. Then K22 is 4ei by L, and again 6, I am just copying it, 6ei by L square and 2ei by L. Now the next thing is, by physical approach, is we have to apply a unit translation in the upward direction. We have to apply a unit translation in the upward direction. So I am going to apply a unit translation in the upward direction and try to find out the moment. So you can see here it is fixed. So this is the structure. So unit translation in the upward direction. So there will be forces. You can see that it will be 12ei by L cube. So here will be downward 12ei by L cube. So moments are going to be clockwise, 6ei by L square, and here also it will be 6ei by L square. So this understanding I have discussed in the previous lecture. So I believe you are clear with this concept. Now the direction is 1, 2, and 3, 4. Now we are going to fill. So this is actually the third ordinate. So we are going to fill corresponding to K13, K23, K33, and K43. So K13 is the forces coming at first location. So here it is downward direction. So minus 12ei by L cube. K23 is the second ordinate. It is coming at the same direction. The moment is in the clockwise direction. So it is positive 6ei by L square. 3 is actually the reaction, so it is in the upward direction itself, so it is 12ei by L cube. K43 is also the rotation, so it is also in the clockwise direction, so it is 6ei by L square. So you can fill this column, that is minus 12ei by L cube, 6ei by L square, 12ei by L cube, and again 6ei by L square. So you can understand that we have filled the third column. Now it is the time to fill the fourth column. Fourth column is very simple. So you have to apply a unit rotation, and you have at the second node, and you have to note down the moment and the forces. So I am applying, fixing my left end, and I am applying a unit rotation in the clockwise direction. So theta is 1. So here 4ei by L. Here it is 2ei by L. Now it is clockwise, so the reaction is going to be anti-clockwise, 6ei by L square, and here also it is downward, 6ei by L square. Now you have to see that upward 1, it is clockwise 2, upward 3, clockwise 4. Now we are going to write K14, K24, K34, and K44. So K14, we have to look at the first ordinate. It is in the downward direction, so it is negative. that is minus 6ei by L square. K24 is in the clockwise direction, that is 2ei by L. So it is 2ei by L. K34 is, you can see, it is in the same direction. The reaction is 6ei by L square upward only, so it is positive 6ei by L square. And K44 is, you can see, clockwise direction only moment, that is 4ei by L. So we are going to complete this element stiffness matrix. So for considering 2 degrees of freedom at each node, that is minus 6ei by L square, 2ei by L, 6ei by L square, and 4ei by L. So my request is you have to by heart how to write this element stiffness for a 2 degrees of freedom at each node for a bar element. So you can see that it is a symmetric matrix. So you can see that it is 12ei by L cube, 6ei by L square, 4ei by L. So there is a technique to write this equation. If you closely observe this matrix, you can bifurcate this into small 4 matrix. You can observe it is a 4 small matrix, and if you look at the coefficients, see 12ei by L cube, 6ei by L square, 6ei by L square by 4ei by L. So here also the diagonal matrix is again 12ei by L cube, 6ei by L square, 6ei by L square, and 4ei by L. So these are the 2 diagonal matrices. So these 2 diagonal matrices are the same. So if you by heart this 12ei by L cube, 6ei by L square, 6ei by L square, and 4ei by L. So I am not considering the sign for the time being. First I am trying to look at the coefficients, magnitude of the coefficients. And then you can see that other matrix, the coefficients are exactly same except the last. That is, instead of 4ei by L, it is here, it is 2ei by L. Here instead of 4ei by L, it is 2ei by L. So then only negation has come on 6 elements, that is on the first row and first column except the first element. So the technique is, if I want to write the stiffness in matrix for a beam element, suppose this is my beam element. So if you are considering this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. And if you want to write the K, so my request to all of you is that try to learn this now itself. It's a very simple technique. So this is the my 4 by 4 matrix. So the coefficient is, first you have to write 12ei by L cube, 6ei by L square, 6ei by L square, and here 4ei by L. Then same thing you copy here. Don't worry about it. 12ei by L cube, 6ei by L square, 6ei by L square, and 4ei by L. That is over. Now we have to fill these off diagonal matrices. So here the first 3 elements are exactly the same, 12ei by L cube, 6ei by L square, 6ei by L square. Here you have to wait, instead of 4ei by L, just take the half of it, 2ei by L. Then copy this matrix and fix here. So here again 12ei by L cube, 6ei by L square, and 6ei by L square, and 2ei by L. So the magnitude of the stiffness matrix is now clear. Now we have to fix the negation. So this is negative, 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 this is negative. Others are all positive. So with that we are winding up the stiffness formation of the stiffness element stiffness for a beam element considering 2 degrees of freedom at each node, which is required for solving the problem. Now I am so with that we are winding up this session. We will discuss other thing in the later sessions. Thank you all.